Hi everyone, John here from Bite Size Cruises. Today we're going to take you on an incredible tour and a very thorough review of Royal Caribbean's Anthem of the Seas. We'll get started right after this. Hey everyone, John here from Bite Size Cruises. Welcome back to our channel. If it's your first time here, we are a travel agency that books guided, curated adventures for either solo travelers, group travelers, businesses, anyone that really wants to go on an interesting cruise or travel vacation and have a little more involvement, have some things planned out, some group activities, or if you just want to go on a cruise and have a great time, we can do that as well. So today, I'm going to talk to you. We're going to do a little basic overall bite-sized review of the Anthem of the Seas. I just got off the Anthem of the Seas a few days ago. I had a great cruise. The weather was a little bit weird, but we'll talk about that in a little bit. So first things first, the Anthem at this point is leaving out of Bayonne, New Jersey. So I had an 11 o'clock check-in time. I also had purchased the key for this, which we'll do a separate review of the key if it's worth it or not. So I did have the key. I arrived at the port around 10:30. I did drive, so I wanted to make sure I had lots of extra kind of built-in time just in case anything I hit traffic or anything. Drove from Philadelphia. So I drove. I stopped and had breakfast, so I delayed a little bit. And then I got there around 10:30. When I got there, as per normal with cruising, even now with the assigned times, there's already a huge line. So there was already a huge line. I walked up, it was raining a little bit, and I just asked, hey, I have the key, where do I go? And they said, come on in. So literally I walked in, parking was a breeze. I walked into the terminal, they asked me if I was checked in on the app, which I was. They asked to see my vaccination card, which I showed them. They looked at my ID, they scanned my sail pass, and she's like, okay, you can go down this way to the hallway. So I thought I was going to go walk and sit in the terminal. I haven't been on a Royal cruise in a while. I've only been on Norwegian in the past year or so. So normally with Norwegian, you go through the terminal, you sign in, they get you to fill out all this stuff. They take your picture, they give you your CPAS card, and they tell you to sit down and wait with your group, and then you'll be escorted onto the ship at some point. So I went and I walked down the hallway and I said to a guy, hey, the woman down there checked me in. She asked me to come this way. And he said, okay, did you check in with her? I said, yep. And he said, okay, just make a right here and go around. So I said, all right, cool. So I made a turn. Literally, I was on the gangway to get on the ship, which is amazing. I was on the ship by 10:35, taking pictures and just kind of enjoying everything. So we'll do a whole video on tips and everything, but I immediately went to a restaurant. I went to Chops. And I made reservations for my whole cruise. I had the ultimate dining package. We'll do a full review of all the food. So it was great. I went in. Couldn't have been easier to get on the ship. Couldn't have been easier to walk around. I only bring a backpack when I go on cruises by myself, so I didn't have any luggage. So I went right to the main dining room for my key lunch. When you purchase the key, you get a lunch from Chops Grill, and again, I'll go through the whole key, but lunch was great. I had filet mignon with some shrimp cocktail and a chocolate cake for dessert, and it was just a great start to the vacation. I had a really nice lunch. It was very relaxing. There wasn't a ton of people there. So I just went in, sat down, had some lunch, and enjoyed the early afternoon there, and that was like 11:30. So we were good to go. So I then walked around a little bit, just did a quick tour of the ship just to kind of get familiar with it. I had done some research ahead of time, so I kind of knew where the Royal Esplanade was and where kind of everything was a little bit. So I just did a quick walk around, and then I went to my room. The rooms were open by a little bit before 1. I dropped my luggage and then kind of went back out into the ship. So for our sailing, It was the highest sailing so far since the pandemic, and it's the first week of spring break. So there was a ton of kids, a lot of college age kids. I'm sure there were more the following week, but there were 3,200 people on board, which is a lot, which was the most I've seen since the pandemic. So the ship holds about 4,900 people, so maybe 65, 70% full, something in that area, but it didn't feel full. It never felt full or crowded or anything like that. It wasn't too bad. And I never felt unsafe. So you obviously were not required to wear masks anymore. It's optional. I only wore a mask twice on the entire trip, which we'll talk about in detail. I wore a mask in the theater one night for We Will Rock You. It was very crowded. So I wore a mask. I didn't feel super safe for some reason. And then I wore a mask waiting in line to get off at Coco Cay. Because if you've never gotten off the ship at Coco Cay, it is complete and utter anarchy. And everyone just kind of barrels their way down to the gangway because I guess they feel like they need to be the first people on the island, which I had no idea. I'm kind of used to being called down at a specific time or anything like that. And it was kind of just like, hey, we're opening the gangway. And I was like, oh, that's nice. So I walked down, and I would have waited like an hour because it was just a nightmare. There was thousands of people waiting in line, and I put on a mask because there was just too many people there. So layout of the ship was great. They filter you around pretty easily. There is a lot of congregating in the Esplanade area, which is normal for Royal, the Promenade or Esplanade area. And then I kind of enjoyed the day. And then day one, I did dinner in Wonderland, which was great. I will do a full dining review after this, but I did a special on the Ultimate Dining Package. So I did a specialty restaurant almost every night of the cruise. So I loved it. I love the specialty dining package. The only thing for me, and I'll talk about food a lot, but the only thing for me is it is a little bit stressful because you can't make reservations until you get on the ship. If you just purchase one of those restaurants separately, you can make those reservations online beforehand. But I did the package, so I had to wait till I got on. It was me by myself, so it was kind of a breeze, but I did talk to some people who were having a hard time getting some reservations. They did wait till like the third day though, so in Royal's defense. But I talked to them and let them know that if they weren't able to get reservations, they could get their money back. I think they did a 3-day package. So we'll go into details on all the restaurants in my food review, but food was great. And then I went to the Welcome Aboard show with Jeff Eaton, who was the cruise director, who was great. I do miss the old days of cruising where you really had a ton of interaction with not only the cruise director, but the whole cruise director staff. You saw them all around the ship all the time. You talked to them a lot. They were kind of mingling a lot. And I've noticed in the past couple of years, even pre-pandemic, that you don't really see the cruise director and the cruise director staff as much as you used to. Obviously, they're at the big trivia events and the game shows and the things on the pool deck. But just for me, I used to see them all the time. You see the cruise director a lot more. And I feel like you don't as much anymore, especially since the pandemic. So, which is kind of sad, but it is what it is. Hannah Stern was performing there. She was the singer from the We Will Rock You. She's the killer queen, the villain in We Will Rock You. She is amazing. She was great. I'll do a entertainment review as well. We'll do a separate video, but just as a quick one, there was also a comedian. Let's not talk about that because that was not an enjoyable experience. I heard a lot of people talking about it when we left. Then I went to Music Hall. It's my favorite venue on the whole ship. It's a 2-story kind of like rock music hall where they do a lot of cover bands perform and just all bands, and they do some of the trivia and things in there as well. It's a great space, and I spend a lot of time in there just during the day. They have the auto leveling pool tables in there as well, but I spend a lot of time during the day in there just reading. The Coyote 80 mixtape was there on the first night. They were amazing. Again, we'll do a review of that. Around 11:30 p.m., the DJ took over, and the Spring Breakers had a blast when the DJ took over. Day 2, did breakfast in the main dining room, which was good. Again, I have notes. I usually wing it, but I have some notes here today, so I'm going to go through the notes. The food in the main dining room was good. I don't have any complaints. All the free food I ate on the trip, whether it was in Windjammer or the main dining room, was good. For me, just with recent experience, I feel like the NCL cruises that I've been on, the free food, the complimentary food on those cruises was a little bit better, but I could be swayed in either direction. It was good. I had Eggs Benedict. The only thing weird, I had Eggs Benedict like 4 days. I really like it, but the only thing that's weird with the Eggs Benedict is they don't toast the English muffin, which is really strange. English muffins not toasted, or it's a really weird thing. Uh, but whatever. So the day 2, I spent a lot of time in the Solarium, which is in the front of the ship. It is indoor, fully enclosed pool, adults only, which is really nice. It opens at 10, closes at 7 p.m. And again, it's just like very exclusive. There's a lot of different pools. We'll have some video and pictures here to show you during this whole review, but just to give you a kind of idea of what's going on there. And then for lunch, I quickly scooted over to the 270 Cafe, which is at the back of the ship. Back of the ship or the front of the ship? Geez, I'm forgetting now already. It's at the back of the ship. So I had lunch at the 270 Cafe, which was great. Actually, I don't know if it's at the front or the back. It's really funny. I'll figure it out. So, so I heard all the rage over the roast beef sandwich there. Everybody was talking about how great the roast beef sandwich was, where they slice it and you get a sandwich. I don't know. It was fine. It was fine. Like, it wasn't revelation or anything. I mean, for as much as people hyped it up, again, it's always the problem with expectations. I was expecting it to be amazing, but it was fine. I had some other food there, which was really great. Again, we'll do a full review of that. It is at the back of the ship. I have it written down in my notes. Look at that. So that area is great also as well, just to sit at during the day. It is a little bit loud because of the engines, but it's called 270 because there's full 270 degree views outside from there. And they do a lot of shows in there. Full disclosure, when we do the entertainment review, I signed up for the Spectre's Cabaret show, and everyone I talked to didn't like it, and I didn't go. So literally everyone I talked to said it was super weird, and they didn't get it. So I decided not to go. Matinee show on day 2, I went to We Will Rock You. We'll get into that. It was fantastic. One of the best shows I've ever seen on a cruise ship. I said last cruise review I did, I went to see The Choir of Man on NCL Escape, which is by far the best show I've ever seen on a cruise ship. It's literally made for a cruise ship. It's a great show. We'll talk about the differences, but there was no storyline. It was mostly just cover songs and fun things, and it takes place in a bar. But I didn't feel like they shoehorned the story together. We Will Rock You is all over the place. The performers were amazing. The music's amazing. The storyline is bananas. So, but I enjoyed the show. The performers were amazing. It is a full Broadway show. It's 2 hours long. So it was great. And again, it was long. There were kids in there, kids sitting next to me, and after an hour they were over it. And the storyline is a little weird, but the talent and the performers were just incredible. So I had dinner at Chops Grill. It's the most popular Royal Caribbean restaurant, and it delivered. It was awesome. We'll get into that in my food review. And then I went to the indoor pool. There is another indoor pool on Anthem of the Seas. So there is the Solarium, which is only open until 7 o'clock at night. The pools are only open until 7. You can go in there whenever. And then there's an indoor pool, which is open until 11 o'clock at night. However, the hot tubs are only open until 7 o'clock. Love that area too. It's so nice leaving out of New York, especially in the winter, early spring, where you can actually be in an indoor pool, which I loved. I thought it was great. So that was a great thing. Day 3, breakfast at Windjammer. Man, buffets on cruise ships really, really, really bring out the worst in people. So I generally don't, when I go on regular cruises, non-pandemic cruises and they're crowded, I tend to stay away from the buffet for a million reasons, right? It's like a petri dish of humanity in there. People are gross. They're touching everything with their hands pre-pandemic, which is just disgusting. And then, people are just, it just shows, any buffet just kind of shows the worst of people, where they're just dumping everything on their plates, and, everybody's jumping in and out, cutting in front of people. And since the pandemic, it's a little bit better. When I went on Norwegian Escape in December, that ship was not even at half capacity, so we did wind up going to the buffet a lot for lunch and snacks and things, because it was quiet and it was easy to get to, and the staff serves you now. So that was a great experience there. On Windjammer, on Royal, since this sailing was a little more crowded, at like 60 or some percent, I only ate breakfast in there one day, and that was enough. The food was fine. It's buffet food. You're getting, eggs and bacon and everything else. It's fine. Everything was fine there. But it was crowded, and it was... it's just people. But they do serve you, which makes it better. So then I went to the Seaplex. This is an amazing indoor venue. on the Anthem. Sorry, I just kicked the camera there. But that's an amazing, amazing one on the indoor venue. So this is something I love a lot about the Seaplex. So on most cruise ships, they have an outdoor basketball court, soccer, or whatever, right? It's the all-purpose court out there. And it really sucks trying to play basketball or anything out there because it's windy. It's usually on like the top deck, and it's really windy and cold, and sometimes it rains. And Seaplex is all indoor, so it's awesome. I played basketball a couple of days. It's great. They do bumper cars there. They do roller skating there. I didn't see roller skating because I really wanted to do that. I don't know why, but I really wanted to do that. But I didn't see roller skating there at all. I don't know if I missed it or I just didn't see it. There's a ton of things going on, so it's possible that I missed it. So, but yeah, so we did it, and I loved it. And bumper cars is a blast. And there's also like Xbox in there and some arcade games and some foosball. It's a really cool area for kids, teens, and even adults, obviously. So that was great. I loved that. The hot dog, the doghouse is up there as well on this ship, which on the Oasis class ships is in the boardwalk. So that night I went to Jamie's Italian for dinner. It was great. I had heard mixed reviews on Jamie's Italian. It was great. I had garlic bread. It was probably the best thing I ate on the ship. They also have homemade pasta, so I felt like I had to get that. So I got a small order of penne carbonara, which was great. And then I had lamb chops. They were okay. But overall, it was great. The star of the meal, I had lemon meringue cheesecake. It was phenomenal. Can't recommend it enough. And then I went to the music hall for High Voltage. They were good. It was a little low energy. People were a little quiet. I don't think it had anything to do with the band. They were very good. But the next day was Perfect Day. So I think everybody kind of crashed and went to bed early that night. So then Perfect Day Coco Cay, I'll do a whole review on. It's literally the most amazing island I've ever seen, especially after going to the NCL island, which I thought was great in December. And then you go to Perfect Day, and Jesus, it's amazing. I did the Cocoa Beach Club. I will do a full review of that as well. I thought it was great. The value, I paid $100 and some dollars, not more than $150 for the Cocoa Beach Club. The area, the infinity pool there was amazing. You can see the pictures, and obviously the beach there is amazing. You get towels and everything is included. And then surf and turf for lunch. It's worth the price of admission. I had lobster and filet for lunch, which was amazing. And they give you all the appetizers in these little like bento boxes for lunch. It was just great. Can't say enough good things about it. Got back on the ship, had dinner at Izumi, which we'll go into again in the dining review, but that was great. Awesome sushi for dinner. I had Windjammer breakfast the next day. Wasn't as crowded because everybody got off the ship and went to Nassau, so it was fine. I wanted to try room service for everybody, so I did room service for lunch. I had a hot dog, chicken soup, and cookies. The hot dog was the worst thing I ate on board. It was like stale bread and everything. Chicken soup was great. Cookies were great. No issues. Did Windjammer for dinner. Wanted to test that out for dinner one night. Had chicken curry and prime rib. Weird combo, but it was good. Everything was good there, and it wasn't crowded again. Went to the variety show that night with the singers from We Will Rock You. They were amazing again. All the entertainment, everybody raves about the entertainment on Royal Caribbean. It blows away pretty much everything else I've ever seen on any other cruise ship, with the exception of that Choir of Man show. The rest of the entertainment on NCL Escape was okay at best. Everything I saw, with the exception of the first night comedian. The last night comedian was really funny. His name was something Sarukis. But he was funny. He was really funny. I had snacks at I tried everything. So snacks at the Cafe Promenade and La Patisserie. Both good. The La Patisserie has a little upcharge for desserts there, which was fine. It was a couple bucks. Everything I ate everywhere else was really good. I didn't have any issues. The only place I didn't try for food was the Brass and Bach, I think it's called, the like British pub there. I didn't try their food. The place was great. They had a singer there, Kieran Cox, every night. He was amazing. We'll talk about that in the entertainment portion. Went to a matinee show of Hannah Stern the next day when we were in Nassau. And again, she was Killer Queen in We Will Rock You, and she was incredible. I'll do a lot of details on that. Royal really exceeded my expectations on their entertainment. It was really, really incredible. And then there was an evening a cappella show by the group Revoiced. They were ridiculously great. Every piece of entertainment was amazing. All right, everyone. Just wanted to say a quick thank you for checking out our brief overview video of the Anthem of the Seas. Really appreciate you coming to check it out. We look forward to having you really dig in deep to our reviews of all the dining experiences, to the key, to our experience at Coco Cay, and so much more. Once again, if you like this video, please like and subscribe for more videos like this, and we will see you soon. Once again, I am John from Bite Size Cruises. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.